So what is super able to do? Super is able to execute the superclass variables, methods, as well as constructors, right? And we also have the self, right? Self means represents the class object. Let's do one thing. I have a class test. I'm trying to display a particular method display. Print display method. And if I just want to have one more thing known as show. Now for printing t equals to test calling, we should have self in those things, right? I should call
Rohit, I'm back. Yeah, thank you.
yeah t dot display t dot show. So what I've done, I've written a class, I've written two methods, one is display method, one is show method, and I just called it. Okay, test.py. Inside G drive, Python programs, batch 1. I'm just trying to save it. So it's a normal way of method calling, right? We write a class, methods, and call it. What I want to test is, like, if I write self.display and remove the t.display, will it execute or not? So what's happening here? It's executing, right? So self.display can also be used, like self also be used to call the other class variables, right? Other class or not other class, the same class methods.
Methods, yeah.
To call the same class methods, we can use this self. Okay. Now we have tested this fine. What I want to check is how to write a constructor.
Yeah, def underscore init underscore.
Self is required, right?
Yes, yes.
So without parameter, we can say, right? We'll do one thing. We'll take one parameter. Like I'll just say IDN percentage. Okay. And if I want to access it, like I want to display them, what I can do? ID equals to ID, percentage equals to percentage. I'm writing one more constructor, underscore init, only the address part, print address equals to address, right? Now usually how the constructor gets executed?
Create
access through object.
Like when we create the object, it gets executed, right?
Yes.
So what I can do here now, sum x equals to test. And if I save this and execute, what will happen?
Nothing will print.
Print.
If
Nothing.
I run this thing, it's saying missing one required positional argument, right? Address in the x10, it's saying the same error. So I'll give that missing required positional argument like Pune. As there is, it's missing, I'm just giving it as Pune. So address equals to Pune, I got it right. But what about this ID in percentage? Suppose it says student class. What is this? A student class. Student is having the address and student is having the particular ID in percentage, right? And what I want to do is now inside this self dot underscore init underscore 1023 comma some 76.5. Okay, save this thing, run this. What it's saying, takes 2 positional arguments but 3 were given, right?
Yeah, it's considered the comma too, right?
No,
Concept,
Pune.
Yeah.
it's comma itself, right? It's unable to identify in the same thing. It's just saying takes 2 positional arguments. ID and percentage are 2, right? I want to give the values. Suppose what I'll do, instead of writing it here, I'll write ID and percentage here 1023 and 76.5. Save this thing and run. What it's saying?
Position.
Takes 2 positional arguments but 3 were given. It's getting difficult to execute the first constructor, right? When I was trying to pass 2 values, it's not identifying the 2. But if I remove the single constructor and execute this, now it's getting executed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So here, in the same particular student class, we cannot have 2 constructors with different parameters. The same thing what we have done using the what you can say overloading, right? What is the overloading?
We have the person. I mean, none we have.
Then, yeah, we can indicate the none.
Yeah, we have used this none, right?
Yes.
Let's do one thing. We will take ID equals to none, percentage equals to none, and address equals to none, right?
Okay.
So now what I want to do is, if ID not equals to none and percentage not equals to none, what I have to do?
And Rohit, this none is a keyword start with the N as uppercase. I mean,
Yes.
I tried using lowercase, it was giving error. It was not
Yes.
working.
In Python, the true also T capital, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
True and false.
So the same way it's taking the capital thing. Now, after this, what I want to write, elif. In that elif, if address not equals to none, print address equals to address, right? Now let's execute this thing. It's printing that. If I give this address as Pune, save this thing and run.
We don't have the constructor with only one argument. How it will take?
Yes, actually in the overloading concept, what you have done is, in the elif part, we have written that same variables, right? So order 1, order 2. Yeah, it's worked in this overloading. Order 1, order 2 we have given. Even if address not equals to none, I wanted to print this address part.
Only one variable we mentioned. So
But the parameter is 3 parameters, right? So it's not even taking anything. It's not executing any equation here, right? If it is none, these two are none means it should go to the else part, right? If elif address equals not equals to none, address. So it's not even printing anything, right? It's not able to execute this part. Like what I wanted to try is, for overloading we use this concept as if else, right? If elif, right? And at that moment I've taken 3 different variables in the same method and it got executed, right? Let's say I'm calling this as details now. So this is a method or not? And the method, I'll just say it as Rahul.details. So Rahul.details will be what? Pune, right? Let's run this thing. Now also it's not printing it, even though it's a method. Self ID none address. Something is missing. What is that? Address is correct, right? If it is not equal,
it's a self dot address. No.
I'm just trying to print the parameter values, right?
Okay.
If it's not able to get this one, at least it should get executed, right? Address equals to this elif condition is getting false. You wanted me to keep the self dot address and self dot ID.
Actually, the condition we should write at the top. Addresses as the first and then.
But in the overloading also, you have taken the 3, 2, 1, right? At the last, we have written
Yes.
1.
The overloading.
And just trying to check the first same thing. So self dot ID none means saying that object has no attribute ID. It's not taking it as
It is taking as ID, right? Not instead of address.
local variable. It's taking local variable means that till that method, right? So we can't write self dot ID or self dot percentage. So how many ways if you want to write this, it's not working, right?
No, actually, if you write the ID is not none, then print this one. At the time, it might work. Only ID is not
ID,
one.
each one at a time, like ID one time, percentage one time.
Here also you want me to write ID is not null.
Yes. Can you run this now? It might work. ID, no, you are given No, you're given the address value. You can print the ID. Yeah. There you can give the ID. It work.
ID equal to yeah.
Yeah, it will give a Pune. Yes.
But I don't want the ID, right? I need the address.
Actually, Pune, how they will know this program will know this address. It will take like a first object.
Let's change the order then.
Yes. We can say
Address not equals to none. What do you have to print?
this also will not work actually.
This will also know.
What do you want me to write? Like in the first condition only you want me to write the three variables? If ID, or let's try this thing, address not equals to none, print this address equals to address, elif ID not equals to none, and percentage not equals to none, print this ID comma percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Save this thing. It's not executing.
Address dot Pune.
Actually, if you give only one value, then it takes only the first parameter. It's not taking the third parameter.
Yeah, like I'll write all then. ID is null and percentage is not equals to none and address not equals to none. Okay. So in this thing, and here instead of, yeah, so print address equals to address.
No,
It's not accepting. So even though it's a method which has, but you have seen that overloading the same way, right?
Yeah,
Actually, we have, if you're giving only one value, then we were considering the first argument.
Okay, the variable name should also be same, you are saying. Like in take order, we have taken the variable names also same, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it won't execute if we have different names. So we can have a constructor with that order 1, order 2 and order 3, then it's working, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So just check this once whether for different variables it's possible or not, because we might require sometimes different variables also, right? So now we'll continue with this part, like abstract method. So we have seen this concept known as Audi and BMW concept, right? Overriding. What was the program name I have written? Overriding, I guess. Uh, Python programs batch 1. What it's saying?
That is
It was what was the program for overriding file name?
mentioned that
Overriding.java.
thing demo.
We kept overriding. This is below.
No.
Yeah, I changed it, I guess. We'll write it once again because we need this program. The overriding program will convert into abstract. And before doing that, we had this @static method, right?
Yes.
So @class method also.
Yes.
And to have abstract, we need to write @abstract method. So you need to mention this in order to have a particular abstract method. But which methods we can give it? And this @abstract method is present inside a module. Like math module, we have from ABC. Okay, ABC is a module name from which I want to import abstract method, and I can give it using to a method. If you observed in the overriding concept, we have written the cost of car, right? What was the cost of car? No cost. If I say mobile, how much RAM is there for mobile? No RAM for mobile. You will have RAM for the brand, right?
Yes, yeah.
So superclass methods, there is no meaning, right? If you print or if you just pass this thing. So in Python, we have a keyword known as pass. So what is that keyword doing? Pass means it won't execute. No need to execute this, just pass it. And what you have to do, you have to specify @abstract also. @abstract method. And to import it, we need to write that from ABC import abstract method. Right? So this is the way we write abstract method, so that there is no block for that particular cost. Let's write this thing without the abstract first and then with the abstract. So we have seen this class car, which has a method known as cost. So print, what I want to print is no cost. Def mileage, the self is required, right? No mileage. And we had a car known as Audi, which has this car. So def, what I can say? Again, cost is there, but the Audi cost will be different. Like print Audi cost is some 50 lakhs. I can say anything. Def mileage. Audi mileage is some 15 kilometers. BMW car, which defines the cost again, and will print BMW cost is some 40 lakhs. Define a mileage which has a self. Print BMW mileage is some 10 kilometers. Now we created the object x equals to car and x dot cost, x dot mileage, right? X equals to Audi, x dot cost and x dot mileage, right? And x equals to BMW, x dot cost, x dot mileage. So this was a program, right? Save it as overriding.py. Python programs overriding.py, py space overriding.py. No cost, no mileage. I want to remove these things. So what is the first thing we need to write? From ABC, import abstract method, and I can specify that particular method as abstract, right? So what I have to write here? @abstract method @abstract method. Okay, so I don't want to have the body means, I'll just skip this thing and give it as pass. So when I'm not having any methods inside the car, there is no requirement of creating the object and calling the methods, right? I'll just remove it, save this thing, run this part. I got Audi cost, Audi mileage, BMW cost, BMW mileage. So what I've removed, the unnecessary part, right? Is this required? No. So what I've just done, I've hidden that particular details. Okay. So these are the normal methods which we can write inside the car. Sorry, abstract methods we can say. Now if I want to write a normal method, what you can write, like define start. What is start? It is common to Audi and BMW, right? Starts with a key, right? So save this thing. Now tell me, I'm not creating any memory for car. How to execute this start without creating object for car?
You can use super.
So it's a start of car itself, right? So can I directly have x dot start? Can I write like this? Subclass method calling the superclass methods.
Yes.
Inheritance. Subclass methods can call the superclass methods, right?
Yes, yes.
So x dot start I have given. Save this thing. We got starts with the key, right?
Yeah.
And suppose if I'm creating x equals to car only for to call this start method, it's a waste of memory, right? So in order to not waste the memory, just for the subclasses we can call it. And the start is common, right? Start is common for Audi and it is common for BMW also, right? So which methods we are given as abstract methods which has no meaning in the superclass, but has different implementation. Like cost of Audi is 50 lakhs and cost of BMW is 40 lakhs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
So
we can call abstract for any subclass also, right? Or only it's for parent class? Just syntax I'm asking.
which one, abstract or
Yeah, abstract
Abstract
only. So
methods.
we can use for any classes, right? Not require. If requirement comes, we can.
yes, but mostly it won't require.
It's in case if we want to command some code in future if required, so we can use this abstract or something like that.
Right,
Okay.
we can use it abstract. But if you see, Audi is having 50 lakhs of cost, right? So I'll just remove this cost now. Okay. Suppose there is no body for that, you assume it, and without any particular cost, can we have a car inside the market? Is it possible? No, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there any meaning to give this abstract? It's not there. But in future, if you have other things, you can give it like vehicle. Again, vehicle will be a particular class, right?
Yes. That's right.
So vehicle contains the abstract methods, we can say it, right?
Yeah, we can say that abstract and car will be.
And car is a vehicle, and vehicle has abstract methods. We can call those things also, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So now, what you do is write for vehicle also as a abstract and try it out once. Okay, I'll just give you an example like how it works. Consider, is there any car only the vehicle, or we have other things? Like bike is a vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Consider this, I have a car which has its abstract methods, cost and mileage. These are all what? Abstract methods, right? So I'll end this blocks and it's abstract method. And we have a bike. So bike will also have cost and mileage. And we have a truck. We'll also have this cost and mileage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So bike, car in the sense we can say Audi and BMW. Bike in the sense we'll have FZ and Apache. So some different trucks are there, truck companies will be there. Okay. Now instead of writing this cost and mileage inside the car, I'll remove it from the car and I'll have it inside a vehicle thing. Cost and mileage. This is multi-level inheritance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what is that car contains? Now tell me, what is that car has that the bike doesn't have?
Car is a four-wheeler
Four wheel.
Okay.
or
As
something like that.
or steering is there for car, bike is doesn't
Wipers.
have.
Wipers.
Yes, wiper we can say.
Air
Wiper
conditioner.
is there for car and there is no wiper for the bike. And what is the thing which has bike and that car doesn't have?
Handbar.
pedals, stand,
Stand. The stand thing doesn't have inside the car, right?
yes,
So you do one thing, write this hierarchy multi-level and make this vehicle as abstract. Because this cost and mileage, no meaning is there for the vehicle, right? So if I ask you what is the cost of vehicle, you can't say anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And car is a subclass and vehicle is a superclass, right?
Yes.
So try to write this program with this scenario. In the same thing, can you have another example? Like vehicle, car and Audi, BMW, vehicle, bike and FZ and Apache. Electronics,
yeah, I know.
mobile, laptop. So electronics will have the same things, same method names, and mobile and laptop will have different classes, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So what's the only thing which is present inside the mobile and it doesn't have inside the laptop?
Mobile has a SIM.
SIM slot, SIM which is not present inside the
Laptop.
laptop, right?
yeah,
Next, what is the only thing which is there inside the
Laptop have a CD
CD
drive.
drive,
correct? CD drive is there inside the laptop, which is not there inside the mobile, right?
So,
So those things we can just suggest, right?
yeah,
Next, so after this we have to go with the files, logging, multi-thread. These are the concepts will be there, and different modules like date module is there, and what modules we also have. Like OS module, you already seen that, right? Set the path. So we'll see once again those modules, okay? And the left out concept, so that we can start the HTML, SQL, and the Django part, okay?
okay.
So I just want to.
Rohit, I mean, I was asking how to store the date data type and the date values.
That's what I'll show you in the module, date module and all.
Okay.
Okay, this is the end of OOPS only. Just OOPS concept, what we have seen,
Okay.
like class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, right? So next thing, we have some access specifiers also, like private variables, public variables. What are those also we'll see, okay? So I'll just stop it here. Tomorrow I want to just continue with the new concept, okay?
Okay.
Right then.
thanks.
Yep.
That's
Thank
it
you,
for
Rohit.
today. We'll see you tomorrow then.
Thanks, man.
And make sure to write the vehicle, car, and Audi and the electronics program.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.